Welcome back to From Corporate to Cashflow. We're Andrea Cannon and Liz Schwab, two pharmacists navigating the process of building time and financial freedom through real estate investing and lending while working our day jobs. Navigating the journey is difficult, but our podcast guests are experts in showing us how it's done. And today we have Conrado Mendez with us. Conrado, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey Andrea, how are you? Thanks for
I'm
having
good.
me here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for coming on. And we're so excited to learn about your journey today. Liz is off today, so it'll just be me, but I'm so excited to learn more about your journey. So if you would, let's get started. I want to hear all things real estate, some of the background about how you got into it, things like that. And I'm just going to ask some other questions along the way.
perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure really be here. And my journey in this country, that was amazing. We arrived to this country in 2016 from Argentina. I'm originally from Argentina, Mendoza, and the land of wine. Right, it's like a Napa Valley in Argentina, beautiful, full of wineries. If you have the opportunity to go there, I recommend this 100%. The reason that we really came to the United States was at that time Argentina was in very 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 bad economic situation, and I was an entrepreneur all my life since I was 17 years old. Different projects, I broke several companies, but I can I mean that was a learning all the time. But the inflation, the pressure of unions. I mean, everything was so tough. I mean, the best training ever, by the way, right?
Mhm.
But when I arrived to this country, that was tough at the beginning because we had to survive, right? My wife, my two little kids, 1 years old, 2 years old, very young, and no English at all. I mean, in Charleston, South Carolina, imagine southern accent. I said, "This is English or what?" I mean, basically, the English I had was in the high school. You mean that was when I figured out that I didn't know nothing about the language. And he said, "Oh my God, okay. I have two options here. First option, live in the Latino ghetto, or second option, learn the language, right, and be inside the community." And I choose the second one, right?
I love
And
it.
and and the best way was reading books and audiobooks, right? And I
Mhm.
tried to do this with my mentors, right? I started listening people like Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi. I mean, and then incredibly, they were my real mentors, right? Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi. I did a training with them, but I'm gonna tell you this later. But in that journey, that was crazy because um, I had to work a lot in my mindset, a lot.
Mhm.
And this is something I want to share with your audience, new investors, people that really want to jump to in real estate investment. That is the most important thing, the
Mhm.
foundation of everything, mindset. Because without mindset, doesn't matter you have the best deal, doesn't matter you have access to capital. If you don't have the right mindset, it's like a house. You don't have a strong foundation. If you don't have a strong foundation, everything gonna collapse. Doesn't matter you have very fancy windows, fancy curtains, and I mean doesn't matter,
Yeah.
everything gonna collapse. The same thing with life and with in business, right? Now, saying this, the problem was, okay, how can I make this with my wife? Okay, the kids no problem because they are sponges, right? They learn the language immediately. They were very young. I mean, it's more they don't remember nothing about Argentina, really.
Right.
But the challenge was with us, that we were, with that chip for many years, and we had to reset the chip, right? And
Mhm.
it's like resetting the computer, right? But it's so difficult because the human being has a big, big, big resistance to do it.
Mhm.
And now what was the most important thing for me was using those audiobooks in English
Mhm.
to learn the language, but at the same time to nurture my mindset. And that
I
was
love
an amazing combination. And I had a beautiful story to share with you. That is, I was looking for something. I was praying. I was saying to God, God, give me the guidance to find a solution to
that. Mhm.
see what I can do. Meantime, I was working in landscape, and that was absolutely tough. You know, climbing palms, literally, right? Cleaning, you know, the in Charleston. I mean, you have a lot of trees, palm. I
Mhm.
mean, it's so green, and I say, oh my God, how can I do it? You know, what do I have to do? I need a message, something. And one day, I went to the to very small library, right? And
Mhm.
I entered to the library. You saw those libraries that has those books very cheap, right?
You're
So
right.
so cheap and are used books, right? And and I saw a book very small, very small, in a corner, right? And the cover was absolutely destroyed, right? Broken. But that was very small, and that grabbed my attention. That book. I went directly to the book. That was like, you know, an attraction, absolutely attraction.
Mhm.
With thousands of books, that book, very small, attract me, and I took the book. You know what book was that one?
What?
Think and Grow Rich by
Oh, I love
Napoleon Hill. That
that's
is
awesome.
absolutely amazing. You know, and when I start reading that book, something in my mind explode, you know, completely, you know, and I say, what is this? Where I was living before? Oh shoot, I need to read more and start, you know, that was funny because I was translating, marking the whole book, right? Trying to see the meaning of the words, right? Because it's a
Right.
book with very high vocabulary, right? I mean,
Right.
high level vocabulary. I need to translate everything because that edition was a very old edition, right? And I learned two things with this book. The first one, never you have to judge someone or something for the cover, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
For the appearance. Never, right? And the second thing is there was what was inside. That was amazing. You know, when you have a deep desire of something, right? And you really believe that that exists and you can manifest this, it's absolutely amazing and true, right? And that was the beginning of everything. I mean, there was, you say, oh my God, I need to do it. And listen, 1 week after I took that book, a Mexican realtor called me because my wife met her in a meeting, and I don't remember exactly where. And she said to my wife, hey, listen, I'm looking for an assistant. uh, and she knew about my skills. I mean, basically in Argentina, I was studying a lot. I mean, I have my degree in economics. I have my MBA. I mean, I'm a person that was studying all my life, right? But
Yeah.
but in a different country with a different language, right? That was the biggest barrier. Now, the Mexican lady called me and she said, "Listen, you know, I have the intention to participate in a training, but I didn't last year because my husband really he couldn't, and I want to go." I said, "Oh, what is the training about?" And look at what is this is amazing. The attraction, right? The love of attraction. I was reading the same thing the same day because between every house, the landscaping, you know how the landscaping works, but basically we were attended to 15 different gardens per day.
Wow. Oh
7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That was
my gosh.
absolutely crazy, you know. And now, saying that, between each house, I have a time in the truck, right, with the rest of the crew. And I was trying to find some option, right, looking for opportunities in internet, in Craigslist at that time, right? Craigslist was the tool, right? There's no more, but at that time, Craigslist was the option. Um, And I said, oh, look at this. Robert Kiyosaki people, a team, right? Gonna be in Charleston with a training. Robert Kiyosaki, I was reading that book,
Oh, wow.
Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he said, "Oh, I need to go there only to listen, or whatever." Right? There was a presentation in Charleston, downtown Charleston, and she was talking about the same event. I said, "Oh, let's go, let's do it." I
Yeah.
was thinking about this, and we went to that. That was a typical training, right? 3 days presentation, and then they sell to you the training, right? I mean, but the training was $30,000 training, and I said, "What?" Listen, Andrea, I arrived to this country with $3,000. Three.
Wow.
That was my only capital. Okay. Imagine paying $30,000 for the training. That was absolutely impossible, right?
Right.
Impossible for someone who has the growth mindset, right?
Yeah.
That was me at the time. Perfect. She said, "No, no, no, don't worry. You can be my partner." What? Yeah, I can pay the whole training because I need to do, but I need a partner. I don't have the time, and you can pay me back with deals. I said, "Oh my God, that's real." I was so excited. I was running into my house. I said to my wife, "Listen, honey, I have this opportunity." And my wife didn't understand nothing at the time. Nothing. She said, "No, no, 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 no. We need the paycheck. We need the check every month. We need to pay the bills." No, wrong mindset. And he said, "No, honey, this is opportunity." I was so excited, right? Like a kid, to learn about real estate and to make money. And my wife, she was, oh my God. Okay. That was amazing at the time. And what I did is say yes. I didn't hesitate about it. I started doing the training. And that was so funny because every time I went I was in the training in my head. I have headaches all the time because I was trying to understand what they were saying. I was recording the classes, right? And I didn't understand what they're saying, only a few parts, because obviously the teachers, they're trying to speak, you know, better English than on the street, right? But it
Right.
doesn't matter. That was hard because many new words, many new vocabulary, right? And I was writing and recording and listening during the night, and doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I did my training. The first training was in lease option. That was
Mhm.
the training that changed my life forever because I used that strategy immediately, right, to purchase my own house. I mean,
That's so
after 1 year in this country, 1 year, I purchased my own house. That was not really, I couldn't believe it, but that was true. That was my partner, Tony Strain. I say her name all the time. Tony Strain, my sweet angel. She's a Mexican realtor. She's married with an American gentleman, right? And for reasons, it's Strain. Really, her last name is Vergara. I mean, but it's a Strain for because she took yeah. But so sweet lady. And what happened is, we did the training, but I was studying more than her because I had the time. I
right.
I jumped. I mean, my first deal was I started with mobile homes, very small
Mhm.
mobile homes. I found the first one, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, right? A $3,000 purchase. I sold for 6,000. I say, wow. I mean, I can make the double. And only in 2 weeks. Oh, next one. And I start doing, this. I was working inside the mobile home parks, trying to see opportunities. Right in Charleston, there's a lot
Right.
of mobile home parks, in some areas. And I said, okay, one, another one. Okay, I was doing this, and I was sharing half and half with my partner. Right, I was doing the field job, and she was putting there was the capitalist. Okay, putting the money, until I have my own money. Okay, to
Mhm.
the mobile homes, and then was the first rehab. Right, first
Oh.
rehab, doing driving for dollars, you know, And that was
Yeah.
amazing because, again, doesn't matter. Attitude is everything, right?
Right.
Broken English, doesn't matter because the people can perceive your energy, right? We are
Right.
we are energy, right? In movement, molecules, and when you are in that mode, you can't. Doesn't matter that you speak a very broken English. There was a couple in a very hot of summer sitting in Charleston in a subdivision very close where I'm right now. It's less than a mile where I'm in this where this hotel is located. Um, and I was doing driving $4 in my very old truck, right? The Ford car truck. I remember Ford, right? That was funny. And I was driving and saw that couple sitting there, very hot day, sitting on the street, close to the street, right? In front of the
Mhm.
house. They were sitting literally, It was so hot that day. They were sitting there, an old couple, and I saw the house in the background. I said, on the back, I said, "Oh, this is a very distressed house. It looks like the bricks, very big cracks on the bricks." I saw
Yeah.
all the signs. I learned that you need to see to find deals, right? I stopped the car. I went to talk with her, with a couple, and they said, I asked to them, "Hey, listen, have you thought about the idea to sell this house?" And the husband says to the wife, "Honey, that's crazy. We were talking about that 2 minutes ago."
Oh my gosh.
And this guy stopped here and said, "Yeah, we want to sell it, but the house needs a lot of repair, has foundation problems." "No problem, we can do it." I said, "Okay." I called my partner. "Hey, we have a deal. We have a deal." And she came here. She went to the house. We inspect the house. The house was absolutely, with the foundation collapse. I mean, the house was like sinking. That was that was funny. But like I said, I said, "Oh, okay, that's good." We run the numbers. "Oh, that's perfect. This subdivision is close to Ashley Phosphate, best access. I mean, that can work." And we did the rehab. There was a huge rehab because basically we need to redo the whole foundation, right? I
Right.
mean, but I learned a lot because I was with the contractors. I was seeing how everything's work, and at the same time, I was acting as a project manager. Lowe's, Home Depot, became my new houses, right? And it was all day in Home Depot or Lowe's. Now, the most important thing is, I said, "Oh, this is a really good way to find deals." You know, Go for the
Mhm.
subdivision, drive it from dollar, right? And I did many deals in that way, right? Finding opportunities
Right.
uh, with the stress house. But my first house, that was a lease option because a few months later, this lady called me and said, "Hey, I have a client that really she wants to sell the house, but we had a situation." "Oh, what was the situation?" "The appraisal was bad, you know."
Oh,
"Oh, what does this mean?" "Hey, that she's not willing to pay, you know, in the closing table because she doesn't have any equity on the property, basically. She purchased
no.
the house, you know, 2 years ago. She didn't generate, any equity on the property. And if she wants to close on the deal, she has to put some money on the deal. And there's no way for her to do it." I said, "Oh, perfect scenario for lease option." Why? Because for your audience, how lease option works. Lease option basically is the right to lease a property with the option to purchase the house in the future.
Mhm.
Meantime, you repair your credit. Once you repair your credit or you create your credit from scratch,
Right.
right? You can qualify for a loan and you can execute the option,
Mhm.
right? That means it's a great solution for people with bad credit or no credit at all.
Right.
Okay. Now, saying this, the the this lady, who was an American lady, uh, I remember her name, Whitney Pierce. I love her because that was my first lease option. You know, she said, "Okay, let's make a meeting." I went to the meeting and I said, "Listen, I can really fix your situation. How? I can pay your mortgage." At the time, obviously, I didn't know nothing about subject to. It's
Hmm.
20, talking about 2017. Okay, I didn't know nothing about subject to, and the lease option was my acquisition strategy.
Right.
Right now is subject to, but at that time was lease option because you
Hmm.
can use lease option as acquisition strategy as well,
Right.
acquisition or disposition strategy. Okay. The point is, I said to her, I can pay your mortgage because what's your pain? Oh, I don't want to pay two mortgages, and I want to qualify for my mortgage in Colombia, South Carolina. So okay, that's perfect. I pay your mortgage. You're gonna have a list. You can show the list to the bank. The bank gonna see that someone else is paying for your mortgage. That's gonna improve your debt to income ratio, and that means that you can qualify for a new loan. Oh, that sounds good. Let me talk with the bank, and I'm gonna let you know. She went to the bank, obviously, and that was the answer, right?
Hmm.
Yes, you can do it. No, the bank said yes. That's perfect. Let's do it. But listen, what I did. I was starting, being creative since then. I mean, I said, okay, but let's do something. I'm gonna execute a lease option, but the first of all, the lease option gonna be only the mortgage payment, the
Hmm.
amount of at the time was $900. Imagine for a beautiful house, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, that right now the
Wow.
price value is 350, the market value. Okay, beautiful corner in a very new subdivision, has been built in 2020 in 2012.
Hmm.
Almost brand new house at that time. We are talking
Right.
about 17, 5 years old. Okay, beautiful house. For me, imagine that was a mansion. Because I was living in very small apartments, I mean, like I said, uh, the situation is now when I said that, I told her, but there's something else. What? The option price. Oh, what happened? And when you are facing a very motivated seller, they're gonna accept everything and the most crazy things, right? And that was crazy. Why? Because I said to her without hesitation, the option price will be the mortgage balance at the time to execute the option. And she said, "What? Yeah, the mortgage balance or the payoff balance at the time to execute the option." That means in this way, what I was doing is creating my own equity.
Yeah.
I'm the owner. I was creating my own equity, paying my rent.
Hmm.
Creative finance. Okay, 100%. And she said, okay, let's do it. I said, wow. And I called my wife, Callie, we have a house. No. And she went there and said, oh, she was amazing. Oh my God. But how much will we have to pay for this? 900, less than the apartment, the creepy apartment we're living right now. She said, no way. Yeah, I told you this is creative finance. I mean, and I said, oh my God. We went there. 2 days later, we went to the house. I mean, we were amazed. My kids there, beautiful backyard. And we had, I'm still owning this house and it's a lease option right now with someone else. But I really,
Gosh.
yeah, that is amazing. But I was living there for many years, right,
Hmm.
until we moved to Miami. But I love the house. I have really good memories of it. But the most important thing is the deal. That was amazing. I mean, the mortgage balance was 180,
Hmm.
right? Then because I was paying the rent, the mortgage balance was dropping, right?
Right.
And when I executed the option 2.5 years later, I create my credit from scratch, no credit, immigrant, nothing, okay? To 750 in 2.5 years, right?
Wow.
I
That's
mean,
incredible.
yeah, and I was lucky because that was in 2021. That means I got the best rate ever,
Yeah.
2.6%.
Wow.
Imagine 2.6%. I purchased my house, okay, 2.6% for 160. because that was the mortgage balance and that was the
Uh-huh.
price, right? And then I started paying very, very, very lower than she was paying because I got a better rate
Right.
than her.
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing. And I said, oh my God, I can repeat this with other houses. I can give to a lot of people option to live in beautiful houses and really make something really good. That is, make money and help people. Really good combination. For a reason, I love this option.
Yeah. No,
You
that's
know,
awesome. Yeah, and
and
when you have that first house that you get, right, that proof of concept, that one that you're now moving into, it's that next step that takes, then you can help other people, right? Because you're like, oh, this is real. It's happened for me, and I know I can help it happen for other people too, which is, I think, the really cool part.
yes, yes, that was amazing. And I said, wow, it's a different world. I mean, I can do this, I can repeat this, I can scale this. I mean, and I have a really good approach to the Latino community. Latino
Right.
community has, that combination, bad credit, good income. I said,
Mhm.
oh my God, I can do really good things there. Okay, this is what I did for almost a decade. I'm still doing this. And I love this option for several reasons. And I'm going to tell to your audience why.
Yeah.
This option is not only my favorite exit strategy, as to pace, when it was one of the most favorite strategy. He said this all the time. This option, right, is one
Mhm.
of his favorite exit strategy. Why? Because in my case, I was tweaking the tool so much, right, with different experiences, different tenant buyers, that I have a model that is working very well and is the last babysitting strategy ever. But the people say, why you're not doing co-living? Why you're not doing Airbnb? Well, Airbnb is dead, but like I said, other strategies. And I said, listen, why in the life I'm gonna do this if I can have someone who is willing to pay very good amount of money monthly.
Right.
He's taking care of the property. He's making improvement, and at the same time, I'm setting my lease with new strategy I want to share with your audience. That basically what I'm doing is the tenant buyer is responsible for. This is something I'm saying to other people. They are doing lease option for many years. Said, "Oh, that's really cool." I mean, is basically they have to pay a home warranty and a tenant insurance. That
Mhm.
means nobody call me, Andrea. Nobody call me. I don't have property managers, right?
Mhm.
Zero. Okay. My tenant buyers are the property managers.
Right.
You know, I mean, in the lease says anything over $5,000, that means 1% of the things in the house, right?
Mhm.
We can talk about to cover. But I said, oh no, but I can fix this with the home warranty. Let's say the HVAC is broken. Let's say, the refrigerator is broken, right? Home warranty.
Right.
$60 per month, 50, I don't know, depend on the home warranty. But very cheap. And you explain very well to the tenant understand, and you give this option. Okay. Nobody called me. I love the strategy. And I was tweaking the tool because one of the things with lease option I didn't like at that time, and I don't like right now as well, is 70%, 60 or 70% of the tenant that are trying to qualify,
Mhm.
they cannot make it.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
I mean, and, and I said, oh, that's sad because there's a lot of time, effort, money they put, and then they don't qualify, and you have to say, hey, you have the option to renew, or you had to leave the house.
Right.
And for that reason, what I did, this is something I want to share with you and your audience that is amazing, is tweaking the tool and say, okay, what if I really can fix that part? And I'm sure in some way, nothing is sure in life, but give it, yeah, only that. but,
Right.
but that is sure. Okay, but the how can I do to give to these people better option? What if I can? Okay, I want to make sure For the reason I don't like too much wraps,
Mhm.
because wraps is okay. Pay says, or other people says, okay, you can get the house back, but you need to initiate a foreclosure. That means there's a lot of time, money, and then many things. For newbies, for people like they have another back, that the financial situation is different, correct? But for
Right.
newbies, it's a thing. For a reason, the best thing for me is I need to know the tenant. 3 5 years is enough to know if someone is
Yeah.
reliable. Okay, sorry, I'm improving my English every day.
Great. You're doing great. You're doing great. No, and that makes sense why you would want to start with lease options then instead of like wrap strategy. Because for people who are unaware, a wrap is basically when you actually sell the property versus the lease option is the option to buy the property with the lease happening. And so there's a difference there, but you're still in a relationship with the tenants for both strategies. And so getting to know them really well at that upfront stage while it's still a lease makes a ton of sense. So I completely understand their reason for doing that. I'm wondering, you've shared so many lessons so far. I'm wondering if you want to share maybe the biggest lesson you've learned on this journey so far.
Okay, there's many lessons. Oh shoot! What? I did a lot of mistakes, Andrew. But there's many. Do you want to know about this option or what?
Just like in your journey in general, and maybe it is lease option focused, or something more specific about mindset. Up to you. Your
Okay, but
whatever you
let
think.
me finish that part to don't, because you're only going to say, "Hey, he was saying that part and he didn't finish." I
Yeah.
mean, about the okay. Basically, it's what if I can really get from to these people assured that they can make it. But in everything in life, the one important thing, that was a big lesson.
Hmm.
You have to put skin in the game. If you don't
Yeah.
put skin in the game, you don't take care of nothing. You don't care. I mean, it's different, right? When you put something in place, that really gonna be a pain if you lose it.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a ton of sense.
Okay, that means I say, okay, let's put skin in the game here. I'm gonna request a, a good down payment that is flexible,
Hmm.
but the down payment can be paid in the lease period, split
Yeah.
on top of the rent, but you never have to mix rent with the option. This is something I learned Pace one day in Greenville. He said, "Don't do that." I said, "Wow, okay," because my first mentors, they taught me the strategy with one contract, right? And that was a big, big, big mistake.
Right.
This is one of the lessons. You never have to
Yeah.
mix the list with the option, because if you
Right.
do that, right, in front of the judge, you're gonna be in trouble very easy.
Mhm.
Okay, but if you put a lease and the option, and this gentleman or lady, they don't pay the rent, it's a normal tenant. You can evict them, right? No problem at all. That means if you do that, you have the control, and this is a normal tenant. And if they put the down payment, basically what you're doing is at the end of the lease, they really have the 20% down paid. That's
Right.
normally what the bank requests for someone without credit. For them, for that reason, for me, credit, I don't care about credit. What is credit? Credit is something, an indicator that banks have, right? Only for what? To say, okay, this person is reliable as a borrower, correct?
Hmm.
Okay, I'm using my own indicator. I said, okay, skin in the game. It's an indicator. Okay, nobody wants to lose 20%. Believe me, nobody.
Definitely
Okay,
not.
nobody wants. It's more. It's a very big incentive to improve the house, make things in the house, right? And that 20%, 15%, depending on you, is flexible, right? But some skin in the game. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Okay. Now, when they want to execute the I mean, when they finish putting that, automatically the option is executed, and you became the bank. You know the land.
Oh,
There's
nice.
no banks, right? I want to play the bank's game. That's the key. That was my obsession. Who are the richest people in the world?
The banks for sure.
The bankers.
Yeah.
Not those who works in the bank, not the owners of the
Right.
bank.
No,
Right?
yes, but the actual banks, people doing the lending. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
really good
okay.
point.
Now, saying that, I say, okay, I'm gonna be the bank. If I can put my conditions. It's called seller financing. That's good. I mean, this is my model. For the reason I love it. Okay, you have some limitations, obviously. You cannot make this with all kind of properties. Only some, but this is something for another episode.
Yeah, no, I love that. So how many of these have you done so far?
Many, 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 many.
Is
Thanks God.
many like 10, as many 100, as many 1,000? Like, give me like a rough.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I'm so I so in that sense, I don't want to show off. Never. I never show off. Okay, never, never. But I can say several. Okay, as many, to learn the strategy and to
Sure.
live in Miami in front of the water.
I love it. I love it. I love it. No, that's awesome. And it's nice to hear from someone who has a lot of experience. And I think that's the main thing is, some people have done one or two lease options and then they start talking about it as the exit strategy or something. But it sounds like you've done a plenty. And so you have a ton of experience to share that with us today. And so, being an immigrant and coming here from another country, needing to learn English, especially in the South, and the five and the nine and the y'all and all the way everybody speaks and everything. I mean, I that's so impressive. So just wondering if you developed any habits or routines to stay productive and focused on your goals.
Good question. And for that reason, I'm in Honors Club
Mhm.
because Honors Club gave gave us during Honors as well the option to understand how powerful it is have a good calendar,
Yeah,
be organized, have a plan. I mean, is an everyday fight. I
it
mean,
is.
everyday fight. I mean, I I I wish to be more disciplined, right? I'm trying to prove every day, but it's an everyday fight. Every day you are fighting with your imposter syndrome. Every day you are fighting, with that little, enemy that is saying, "Oh, that's not possible. It's too risky." Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And for the reason, it's not when the people say, "Oh, I need the formula." There's no formula. It's,
yeah.
it's, it's, it's like going to the gym. You don't have results going only one day a week.
Yep. And you also don't have results if you went every day for 6 months, but then you stop for a year, right? They fall off too then. So
It's the same thing. You just
yeah,
start over. I mean, and for that reason, uh, one of my inspiration, your inspiration as well, is Space.
absolutely.
He's a machine.
He is a
I, t-
machine. It's
I,
crazy
I,
way.
oh shoot, I mean, he said, "Wow, how is possible?" I tried firsthand to do part of the tour, the Creative Nation tour.
Uh-huh.
Right? I went with him in several cities. I was absolutely
Yeah.
tired. That's crazy because you have to go travel for yourself. He was moving an RV, huge, right? I took a picture with that RV. I said, he's moving this monster, for because I was driving a Jeep, it's,
Right.
smaller. I was tired. And I said, wow. And he's showing up every day, jam
Mhm.
sessions, speaking with people, doesn't matter what. And I said, oh my God. And the other day, when we were in Tallahassee, and we were in Tallahassee in the RV park, the Bison RV park, Tallahassee, Patrick and Michelle. And That was amazing spot, by the way. If you can go,
Fish
it's a
camp?
lot of,
Yeah, I'd love to go see that. That sounds so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, that's so cool. I stayed there one night.
Oh,
I
neat.
was a renter. I mean, that was so freaking cold, and but doesn't matter. They make a very big fire. You
That's
know, we were around the fire. That was amazing. This is the power of community, and he showed up. You know,
absolutely.
only him. Doesn't matter. But he showed up, and I said something inside me. I said, I need to speak with this guy immediately, and I put aside him. But there was a like a food truck, and I said, Pace, I can tell you something. Can I tell you something? And he said, yeah. Hey, what you're doing is amazing. I cannot do it. What you're doing is
Yeah,
so so incredible. You know, I mean, and he smiled. I said, thanks for telling me this. You know, but that's true. That's
yeah,
true.
man. He is wow. I am with you on that, but a lot of it comes down to that calendar management, like he has instructed, which has been really nice. Because it's a good thing for me too, because I balance, a W-2 job and real estate investing, and so it's nice to have my calendar organized to make sure that I'm really maximizing. And I think that's the only way that I could get it all done myself. So thinking of that, and I appreciate the advice and everything that you've given so far. If you were coming across someone who is brand new to starting their financial independence journey, maybe they're an immigrant, maybe they just want to get into real estate, something like that, what piece of advice would you give them in 30 seconds or less?
Like I told you, mindset, mindset, mindset. That is my advice. That's it.
Mhm. If
Mindset,
they need
mindset,
to
mindset.
if they need to work on their mindset, where would you point them first to go?
Mentors. There's no
Mhm.
excuses. There's a bunch of material. People who is alive, people who is dead, like Jim Rohn. I'm still listening those audios.
Me too.
It's so incredible, so accurate, so actual. I mean, it's incredible. It's something that you can do. I mean, there's no excuses. Audiobooks, books, books are very cheap, right? And
Yeah,
spending less time in social media and more time in this. You know, there's
I
no
like it.
excuses.
Yeah, no, there really aren't. And there's so much information out there to improve your mindset that's free, that's paid, that's in person, that's audio, that's YouTube videos. There's so much out there. And so it's a really good point. Because, like you started out the podcast, the mindset is the foundation for everything. And you can have the best deals, but with a poor mindset, it's not going to work out. And so I really appreciate that being your, your 30 seconds of
But
advice.
be organized. Be organized is important. For example, right now I just have an alarm telling me I have to go to attorney for a closing. For the
Mhm.
reason I'm in Charleston because I have a closing right now. I mean, if you don't have those alarms, those reminders, you're gonna be lost and
Mhm.
distracted. And
Yeah.
another important thing, I'm thinking about the idea to write a book. You know, and
Oh,
it's one of the things. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. And
you
I,
should.
I'm
You
think,
really should.
I'm thinking that the name of the book. I don't know what you think, but give me your opinion. Gonna be distracted.
Uh-huh.
The people are distracted all the time with different things, right?
Yeah.
Distracted. The distraction, you know, if you want to make laser focus and you're distracted, it's impossible. You have a goal.
It
If
is.
you're distracted, you have social media, TV, friends, or parties, or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you don't have to have social life. Yes, you have to.
Mhm.
But when you're working, you're working.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that. And man, and that comes back to the calendar too, right? It's just staying on track with those things when they come up, right? And it's so important that we do that if we want to make our way towards our goals and hit them and achieve them, right? So I couldn't agree more.
And for the reason I have to run because if not, going to be late in the
Yes.
closing.
Okay. So, one last question and we will wrap it up, I promise. So, this one's
Okay.
a fun question. That's why I can't skip it. So, me and Liz have a goal to travel, explore the outdoors, and really have fun while we're building wealth at the same time. So, it's not just a grind. Of course, there is one, but at the same time, we want to make sure we have some fun stuff on the way. So, I want to hear if you have any bucket list travel or experiences you're hoping to have in the next year or so.
Oh my God. Yes, of course. I have a huge bucket. I mean, oh my God. I love to do that. And when my family, my wife, my kids, we love to travel. I mean, imagine, since we are here, because we don't have family here, only
Mhm.
we have friends. Our friends are our family. But basically, what we're doing is celebrating Christmas and New Year in different cities. I mean, for a
Oh,
reason, we are planning this the whole year, and we have a very beautiful family. Is our friends, immigrant like us, and we are going to different places.
yeah.
Colorado was last year. This year was Poconos in Pennsylvania. I mean, yeah, you have to live the life, enjoy the life, right? Because you had to give that price for you. But like I said, it's important to have those rewards. It's
Absolutely.
important those rewards. You have to work hard, but no, it's no hard. It's work smart, no hard.
Right.
It's smart. Work smart, right? And enjoy your rewards is important. I don't really like the people that are accumulating, and they're not really enjoying the life and living with the family, live moments, because it's at the end, it's only you gonna get
Yeah. No, that's man, that's so true.
memories,
Right?
memories.
That's why
That's
that's
it.
our question because yeah, I think it's important to take those steps along the way because you never know what can happen even on this journey, and so you want to make sure you enjoy it while you can. And so yeah, I love that you guys are doing that. That's such a cool experience to go and celebrate in different locations. So that's awesome. Well, how can people, if they want to work with you or learn more from you, how can they get in touch with you?
Conrado Mendez is my name, like appear here, right? They can look for my name in social media, put my name, appearance in exactly my name. I'm gonna be the first one popping up, right? I'm the original Conrado. The rest are fake or trying to be, copies. No, no, but like I said, in Instagram, Facebook, uh, LinkedIn, I don't know, TikTok. Come on,
Perfect.
I have. I'm trying to improve in TikTok, by the way, but you know, my TikTok sucks. But I'm trying to improve it. Okay, but yeah, social media, and yeah, that's the way to communicate with me. Or directly, you go to my webpage, conrodomendez.com, and you can send me a message over there that you're going to receive this in my email. Or you can send me an email to info@conrodomendez.com. Very easy.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your everything you've shared. I mean, you have a wealth of knowledge, and the lease option strategy is one we really haven't explored as much. So it's so cool to hear from you about that. So thank you so much, and I
Whenever
know
you
that the
want,
audience.
we can do this together. That is the thing with the community, right? And
Yeah.
and your audience know about it. I mean, deals in the community are magic, happen all the time, and is the best way to do it. I changed my whole strategy. This is another the last thing. My strategy right now is relationship based 100%. I mean,
Sure.
98% or more of my deals came from wholesalers, realtors, and bird dogs.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so many opportunities to work with other people, which is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah. Well,
obviously other owners or members of the community, right? We are doing
definitely.
some things together. Thank you so much, Andrea.
Yeah, and thanks everyone for listening to this week's episode of From Corporate to Cashflow. We will catch you next week. Hey, it's Andrea. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it, I'd love it if you hit subscribe. Thanks so much.